Hello, I hope you're having a lovely day, and if you're not, hopefully this video will raise some vibrations, even just a little bit, okay? So in this pep talk, I'm going to talk about overthinking, and can I just reassure you that if you're an overthinker, that is so normal. Everyone overthinks, okay? It's just sometimes it gets a little bit draining, so you just want to learn how to try and reduce it, preferably stop it to some extent. You might be surprised to know, I'm a very deep thinker, and I went through a time in my life where I overthought so much, I actually wanted to bang my head against the brick wall to knock myself out because it was just too much all the time. It's like you don't get a break from it. You wake up, it's the first thing you think. It's just always in your head throughout the day. Before you go to bed, you're overthinking again. Why? Why does our brain do that to us? And I want to tell you, that our brain is there for survival purposes only, okay? Our brain isn't a friend. Our brain is not our friend. That is so fucked up. You can't even trust your own brain. When I was overthinking the most, it's when I was the unhappiest and I had a lot of stuff going on in my life. So you need to really evaluate what is going on in my life that's causing me this stress. Because when you do, that's when you'll be able to do something about it. I also want you to try and open your mind and just really think of it from a different perspective, okay? Regardless of the situation, if it's a relationship, a situationship, a job, some other traumatic situation I can't think of right now. In life, we have two things. First one, completely out of our control. It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter what resources you have, how much money you have. It doesn't matter what you do. You have zero control over it. You have zero control over it. And I feel like that's such an obvious thing to say, but I feel like I need to ingrain that into your brain. If there's a situation and there's nothing you can do to control it, then you need to control yourself. Because really and truly, the only thing we ever have control over is ourselves. That's it. You can't control what someone else decides to do. You can't control their actions. You are literally in charge of yourself and in charge of yourself only. So the other situation is there's stuff that you can control. If you're going through a situation right now, you're really overthinking about it, but there's something you can do that's going to change the outcome, that's going to change what you're so scared about happening, then why are we overthinking that? Why are we overthinking that? You can change it. And how powerful is that you can change it? There's something you can actually do about it. So if you're overthinking a situation that you can't control, then you just need to come to terms with that. You need to just accept that you cannot do anything about it. It's not always easy to have to accept situations, but what I realised is you're so focused on this bad situation or this stressful, anxiety-inducing situation. It's like you're so looking under the microscope here. You're actually like not looking around and seeing like there's this big, massive world out here. And that might be a really horrible, stressful situation that I'm going through. But oh my God, how many good ones are on their way. And you can't appreciate a good situation while you're stressed about a bad one. You can't do it. It's literally impossible. Trust me. Trust me. When I went through the really stressful situation of my dad being terminally ill, I can't control cancer, okay? I can't control it. I'm not a doctor, and even doctors, to be honest, don't even know what they're doing to a certain degree because that's just a massive subject. But there were some things that I could do, okay? And the things I could do, I did, okay? I did. And even though it's still really hard to accept the fact that he's gone and I couldn't save him, like, I need to be kind to myself. You're putting so much pressure on yourself, but did you try and do everything you could? Yes, I did. So whenever I think about that situation, I have to tell myself, Leah, you did everything you humanly could, okay? And that's what kind of made me accept it. Did I do everything? Yes, I could. Did it change the outcome? No, it didn't. Did I try to change the outcome though? Yes, I did. Obviously now I've lost my dad. I could literally overthink that till the end of time. But at the end of the day, I can't control it. Like, why am I trying to put myself under more stress, more pressure when I can't change it? There's nothing I can do now that could even bring him back, even if I wanted to. But life is for living and we have to roll with the punches. You're more resilient than you think you are and more resilient than you'll ever realise. The reason why I don't overthink so much now is because I trust myself. I know that I will listen to my gut feeling. They call your gut the second brain, and that's why they always say you get a gut feeling. You probably already know the right decision to make or what you should do, but it might be your head doesn't want you to make that decision. So what are you going to listen to? You're going to listen to your head that's going to make you overthink, or you're going to listen to your gut where you can feel what the right decision is. That's the most basic way I stopped overthinking, because I had to realise, Leah, you have so much to give to this world, and you're not doing yourself any justice by giving away your power. I can only control my own actions. I can't control what someone else is going to do. So if you're overthinking because you really like someone and you don't think they like you back, or you like them so badly, but it's just not going to happen, you need to stop overthinking about that person. And you already know that you need to stop overthinking about that person. Do you still have them on social media? Delete them. You shouldn't have them. It's that simple. A lot of the times we're overthinking about a situation, but what are we actually doing to help ourselves? If you can't get over your ex, but you're following them and you're seeing all their stuff all the time, and then you're overthinking about them all the time and driving yourself crazy and you feel really bad about it, please tell me what you think you should do. Do you think you should still have them on social media? No. And trust me, you need that disconnection. When you get a disconnection, that is when you can actually stop overthinking it. People like to hang on. And we're not hanging on no more, people. We're moving on with our lives. You are so unsure of yourself that you're overthinking. Because if you were sure of yourself, what would you overthink about? Because you already know what you have to do. You already know what the right decision to make is. But you don't trust yourself. And you need to kind of get to the root of the problem. Like, why don't you trust yourself? Why do you have that thinking? I'm very much a positive person. So even in a really bad situation, I will still be able to find you a positive in there. I am telling you. And if you think I'm not capable, you just DM me on Insta and I'm telling you I'll be able to. Our minds will really build things up and turn it into a completely different situation that isn't even reality. And that's what I found with overthinking. You make up all these different scenarios in your head, but none of them is actually what's happening. They're all, but what if this? What if that? What if this was the situation? Well, but that's not the situation. So why are we thinking that? But that's not the situation. Why are we not just dealing with the reality of what's in front of us? Because that's probably the best thing to go off of. Not try and make this massive elaborate situation that hasn't even happened. Like, how are we overthinking stuff that hasn't even happened? How crazy does that sound, guys? How crazy does that sound? And look, I'm not telling you stuff you probably don't already know, but I'm telling you because you need to hear it from someone that's not yourself. I feel like if you're a perfectionist as well, that this is where you're a real big overthinker as well, because as a perfectionist, you want everything to be so perfect all the time, you can't even afford to make one mistake. But we're human and mistakes happen, and mistakes are not the end of the world. So there's two outcomes to these decisions that we're overthinking about, yeah? One, we make the right decision. Perfect, that's what we wanted. It's plain sailing. We made the right decision. Second of all, we might have made the wrong decision. Okay, so we made the wrong decision. Guess what? Life is about that. And to be honest with you, in my experience, whenever I've made a bad decision, that's when I've grown the most. Because that is character building. You will not grow until you have felt a bad decision. So I welcome them, but hopefully not too many, just a few, just a sprinkle here and there. There's this quote, and I'm going to try and remember it because I had it as my screensaver for the longest time. It goes something like this. If something is meant for you, it will reach you even if it's beneath two mountains. And if something is not meant for you, it will not reach you even if it's between your two lips. That brings me so much peace. I do believe everything happens for a reason. And if nothing else, it is the most character development that you'll have on like this side quest of your life, okay? You need to realise that you are in control of your own life, okay? You hold all the power. All the power belongs to you. You will never be in control of somebody else's actions, okay? You are only ever in control of you. Like, do you not understand how powerful that is? If you're overthinking about a relationship or a situationship, then you're in control to remove yourself from that situation. But your mind might not want you to because, this person's the best person. I will never be able to find another person, even though there's over 8 billion people on this planet. This person has to be for me. No. If you're not being treated properly, you need to have your own self-respect and your own self-worth to take you out of that situation. Don't overthink about it. You just be so clear on your boundaries and know what you're deserving of. You're not going to stop overthinking straight away, okay? And like all these little mini pep talks I'm having, with you, they're all going to feed into a bigger picture, but it's such a massive conversation. We just have to take it little steps at a time, and all these little steps will give us one big step. I'm just really interested to know why you don't trust yourself. that's what it comes down to. Why don't you trust yourself? You probably won't be overthinking as much because you would just take action on the things you could control, and you will have peace over the things that you can't. If you don't have the things that you want, it doesn't mean you won't get them. It just means it's not your time yet. It just means you need to work a little bit harder. But what I want you to do is to actually try and enjoy the process. Enjoy the process of every day. Enjoy the process of working on yourself. Because I spent so much time sad, so sad and overthinking and not actually enjoying my life. And when you really start focusing on yourself, you do accidentally turn into a different version of yourself. And when you become that new version of yourself, you literally can't fit into the shell of your old self. It's like, you know those sea creatures where they've all got like at the same time, like quickly run out of their shell to find another one to fit into because they've outgrown their old one. And guess what? If you don't find a new one to run into, you're going to be left without a shell. I don't know why I insist on all these metaphors all the time, but I'm sticking with them. Basically, all I ever want from you all is just an open mind to just think about it. I might not always be right with what I'm saying, but the strongest thing we can do is always question why. And when you really deep it, that's when you really come out with solutions. And I'm telling you, there's always a solution for something, unless there's not. But then what can you do? The reason why I'm so passionate about it is because I've been there myself. Like, you can't tell me it's not possible to not overthink, because I was an overthinker. And sometimes I might overthink a little bit, but rarely, you know, because I also practice a lot of gratitude, and I feel like that helps me to stop overthinking. Because if you're going to focus on a dead flower, how are you going to pay attention to the ones that are about to bloom? I do not know anything about gardening or flowers, can I just say? Wow, I'm so grateful that I managed to get to wake up today. I'm so grateful that I've had a warm shower. I'm so grateful that I've had some food and I've had some water. Those are like bare minimum things that you can be grateful for. And it's not even to compare, because everyone's problems are relative to them. But at the same time, I do think that we also need to ground ourselves. So one of the last things I want to talk about overthinking is that, do you know that you're overthinking a situation, but that's not how it's been interpreted in reality? So you might have social anxiety, for example. So you're really going to overthink any interaction, anything you say or do. You're going to replay that in your head after you've left the situation. But can I just say that the person on the receiving end of that interaction isn't thinking about it anymore? They probably didn't even think anything weird of it. Like, isn't that crazy that there's like two different realities going on? Our heads will make things feel so much worse than they are. I'm telling you, it's really not that bad. What I want you to do is make sure that you spend the rest of your days that you have. Oh my God, that just sounds so morbid. Like, what? What I want you to do is just to make sure that every single day you're making decisions that align with yourself. You are being yourself. You're not changing for anyone, okay? Because if you know you're staying authentic and genuine to yourselves, then you can back yourself. Do you understand what I'm saying? In my personal experience, the way that I've stopped overthinking is because I just gained so much self-worth, so much determination and resilience. Like, if you're having a bad situation happen to you, just know that that will help you become a better person. There's always a positive out there. You might not stop overthinking overnight, but trust me, do you know how powerful it is that you even want to stop overthinking and that you're willing to look at ways on how you can become better so you can be happier? Like, what? Like, look at you go. You're already making the steps because you want to try and improve. Round of applause. Round of applause. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Just remember, you are worth everything and more, and there's nothing that you can't do. And you trust yourself, because you've got yourself. You've got your own back. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time for my next one. Bye.